We're live.
Yes, we are live, and tonight we are gonna play a game, a quiz game. Each of I prepared 8 questions. Zayne prepared 7 questions, so 15 questions in total. And the answers to these questions are little known facts, interesting little known facts about very famous entrepreneurs like Rich Branson, JayZ, Colonel Sanders, many famous people. And before we start, I just wanted to make a short announcement that now I think I posted in total 5 episodes, past episodes from the Newborn Hustlers show on Spotify. And I believe that on Apple Podcasts it's also available, but I haven't checked. So, but the Anchor platform said that the audio version of our live cast is now available on some platforms. Spotify for sure. Not so sure about other platforms, but I guess like 90% of all podcast listeners are using Spotify.
I use Apple Podcast. I can check later. That means.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I guess we should just start, and we should not prolong the intro then.
Cool. Let's start. Boom. First one.
Okay.
This is your question, right?
It's my question, so I will read it, and then I will reveal the correct answer once you will give your best guess. What was the first successful business of Richard Branson? A magazine, B, recording studio, C, music store, D, newspaper stand.
From memory, I think when he started Virgin, it was either a B or C. It's something music related, but I can't remember exactly. But I think when he was a student, he did something like a magazine. So I am guessing that the first successful business that he had was, I would say a magazine.
Okay, that's the correct answer.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. So you even said the correct name of the magazine. The name was Student.
Oh, really?
If I'm not mistaken, he created it when he was 16, so really young. And before he started the magazine, some of his businesses were like selling Christmas trees or something with breeding of some animals. If I'm not mistaken, something quite strange for us, but maybe not so strange for the times when he started. But yeah, magazine, it was his first successful business.
Wonderful. Right. Interesting.
Yeah, let's move on to the next question.
Next one from me. So, Colonel Sanders is the founder of KFC. And do you know at what age did he start KFC? Is it A, 45, B, 55, C, 65, or D, 75?
Okay, I'm rejecting A and B because I remember that it was pretty late when he started KFC. But I'm not sure whether it was 65 or 65 or 75. I'm like 40 to 60 at the moment, so actually 60 to 75, because it was really pretty late in his life. So yeah, I would just take my best guess, and 75 years old.
You're actually pretty close. It was 65, so it was really late. But so it's not only that he started off quite late, right? So he started off his entrepreneurial journey when he was 65. Obviously KFC now still is a very global chain as it stands at the moment. But here's also another interesting thing. Did you know how many times he has failed when he was pitching his fried chicken recipe to restaurant chains? Do you know how many times did he get rejected?
500 times.
A bit more than that. So he got rejected 1,009 times before he successfully sold his recipe to someone.
Okay.
Isn't that amazing? It's like, wow. So you have to do the same thing 1,009 times.
Yeah.
That makes you who you are today.
Yeah. So being persistent, pushing. And also, I wanted to add something about the age when he started his age when he started KFC. Uh, that's what I talked about once on my Instagram. That if we are in our 20s, then most likely we have still 50 years to do amazing stuff in our lives. And because of social media and some let's say urban legends, very often people who become entrepreneurs, they want to be extremely successful by the age of 25, by the age of 30. But honestly, you have shitloads of time to be successful. So don't like push hard, but not too hard, let's say mentally, because you can get discouraged just by your own ambition, I would say.
What's also interesting to me is, and I didn't read, I don't know what the exact story, but I will be interested to know what was going through his mind at that time. That what made someone willing to go through 1,000 odd times of rejection, but still kept going. So when he was at like, I don't know, he got rejected 789 times. What is it that he was thinking that kept him through that process to like, what's his thought process like? I think that's the most interesting thing, but you can't really find a lot of that online. So even if it is, I don't know whether there was his actual thoughts or not when people talk about it. But for me, I find that the most interesting thing, which is like when you got rejected so many times, what did you actually think of to keep going through that until you make it work? So I find that the most fascinating, actually.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so
Right. What's the next question?
this is one of yours.
Yes. Why did Roy Raymond decide to found, so create, so it's a misspelling here,
Oh yeah.
a Victoria's Secret? A, it was his passion for lingerie. B, dissatisfaction with current purchase process and selection. C, his wife gave him the idea. D, he met a guy from an exotic country who presented him with new trends.
This is very interesting. First thing is, I didn't know that Victoria's Secret's founder was a man. I don't know why. I thought it was a female. And
if I remember well, I don't think his wife's name is Victoria. So
okay. So what would I say? I really don't know what the answer is. I would say it is B, dissatisfaction with current purchase process and selection.
that's true. Roy found. So Roy wanted to buy lingerie for his wife, but he found the stores that were out there, with lingerie. He just found them intimidating, and he found the approach of the salespeople in those, like the shop clerks, right? Like a shopping assistants, attitude very intimidating for him. Like he didn't feel welcome in the stores, right? And also he thought that that the current selection is a bit outdated. So that's when he thought that, hey, I can just do it better. And you know what? That's a right idea for many people out there. So if you think that there is something that already exists, and that's the reason why you don't want to enter this market, then remember that there is always something that you can do better than
Mm.
the companies that are already in the market.
Yeah, that's a valid point. You don't have to come up with like a completely new idea, right? There's always something that you can work on, just do better than anyone else. Then you ended up, like in this case, being a great brand within the laundry business. Cool. Next one. So this is from me. The swoosh logo of Nike was designed by graphic design student Caroline, I think it's Caroline Davidson, for how much at that time? Was it A, $15, $35, $75, or $95? That logo.
I read the book
Oh, you did.
of Phil Knight. And I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that it was $35.
Yes, you're right. It is $35. So, but the
One,
thing is,
yeah,
yeah, go on.
one of the most expensive brands right now, like logos. If you were to attach like a monetary value to the existing logos out there, then probably Nike is one of the most valuable logos out there. And the initial investment, $35, amazing.
Yeah.
I hope that sorry to interrupt you, but for my Real Hustlers, my digital marketing company logo, I paid like like 70 $70, something like that. So I hope that that it will get famous as much as Nike is today.
Yeah. When I did the research, the reason why I picked this question was because obviously I don't know how true this is. Obviously, it's on the internet, but apparently the person who designed it, when Nike then became successful, they did give a certain amount of stocks to this person, which would have been worth, I don't know, millions of dollars today equally. But the reason I picked that is because, I think along the theme of what we're trying to get across is that you might start off working at a Fiverr, you might start on working at I don't know, on an Upwork or whatever, doing simple work for other people, but you never know that who you're helping can become the next big thing, and see what the student, she probably didn't expect that she would become a millionaire just by designing a tick logo for Nike, right? And Fiona didn't even like it, apparently. But he just thought, oh yeah, let's just go with this, and then it became the biggest brand in the world. So, but the is we keep saying like just do it, just do it, just do it. But this is the example of just doing it, which is she just put herself out there and does what she was there to do: design the artwork, design a brand, a logo, and see where she is now. If she actually got the got a stock to got a stock of Nike in the end. So, but that was a great question. Cool. Next one. This is one of yours.
Okay. So Bloom Nation is a flower delivery service in the US, and the founder David Daneshgar, I believe he's of Indian descent. Okay, so how did David Daneshgar get his money to start Bloom Nation? A. Delivering pizza. B. Borrowed it from relatives. C. Won a startup competition. D. Won it playing poker.
This is interesting. I guess it is B. Borrow it from relatives.
False.
No? Oh no.
The correct answer is D. He won it playing poker.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, like he used to be really good poker player, and he played some of the, this poker world stars or something like that. So that's how he earned, like, I guess, 35,000 to start Bloom Nation. And it's quite big company right now. But yeah, he's like, uh, great achievement, David. But maybe let's move on to the next question, because we are prolonging a bit, and I guess we don't know as much about David as
Yeah.
that we will
Cool.
be discussing.
Next one. How did Larry Page and Sergey, can't remember his last name now, come up with the name Google? A. Larry Page got it in a dream. B. It's a spelling mistake. C. Sergey just heard the name from someone. D. They paid a branding specialist.
I heard some history about Google, but I
Hmm.
think I didn't I didn't um, I didn't hear exactly about the name. So I'm just gonna say that it's B. It's a spelling mistake.
It is a spelling mistake indeed. So the way that they were working on it was that it was before they decided the name Google, they were going to call it a name called Backrub, which was how Google does like backlink researches, etc., to determine how well to rank a page. Anyway, that's before then. But then they decided to call it Googleplex, which is a term in mathematics. I think that has got like a denotion of like it's like some mathematical term basically. But then Googleplex was a bit like too complicated, so they just decided to use Google, which was spelled Googol, Google. But then one of their mates who was helping them, when he was trying to search up google.com, he misspelled it to Google.com, and that's how they worked out they got the name Google. So yeah, so it tells you that you don't need to spend lots of time working out a name, do you? Because Google doesn't mean anything, but it means a lot of things nowadays. So there we
Exactly.
go. Cool.
What's the next
Oh,
question? Oh, it's one of mine, I guess. The next
yeah.
one.
Cool,
Uh,
quick.
I did you? Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was the one.
Okay, so it will be quite related to what you said about about Colonel Sanders and his 1009 approaches pitches to restaurants. So how many prototypes did James Dyson create before eventually he created a working vacuum cleaner? Was it A, 964? Was it B, 1670? Was it C, 3564? And D, 5127?
This is going to be an absolute random guess. I know that I think from memory, he did lots and lots and lots of prototypes. I don't know how many exactly. So I would say 3,564.
That's not correct answer. The correct answer is 5120.
Oh, I was gonna go for that, and I thought 5,000. Like, wow, that is
I,
a lot.
you know what? When I was researching that question, um, I was remember for some reason I remembered some number of 2000 something, but then I researched and it turned out to be 5000 something. So I was like, wow,
Mm.
five. So and and I'm thinking, nowadays we tend to give up so quickly.
Mm.
We tend to give up just after one trial. We tend to give up after 1 year of working on our project. 1 year. Sometimes we give up after 1 week, 1 month.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we should take an example from James Dyson, that you have to be stubborn, you have to be persistent, you have to keep going, keep pushing. That's
Yeah.
my advice from this question, let's say.
Yeah, I completely agree, but without repeating myself, like, it's just so fascinating to see when you actually see the numbers and you're like, wow, it takes someone 5,000 failures to get to the something that works. So I already give up after 2 times, right? So absolutely crazy when you put it in comparison. But, lesson learned. And moving on, the next one from me. This is one of my favorite celebrities, I think.
Okay.
So which of the below about Gordon Ramsay is not true? So everything is correct, but which one is not true? So A, he has a red belt in karate. B, football was his first career aspiration. C, he will never eat airplane food. D, he's had cosmetic surgery.
Uh, hmm. I believe that he can have red belt in karate. He's a bit mad, so definitely he needs a way to offload his anger. Um, B, football was his first career aspiration. He's British, so I guess most of British boys' first career aspiration is football. He will never eat airplane food. But is it airplane economy class food, or is it first class or business class airplane food? So that's one question. When it comes to D, he has had cosmetic surgery. I don't know. I'm always thinking that cosmetic surgery is something related to vanity, to being vain, and I don't think that Gordon Ramsay is that vain, but at the same time he might have had something really significant on him, I think, and that's why he might have had cosmetic surgery. So I will go for C. He will never eat airplane food because I think that this is too general, and he might eat something from business class or first class.
Mm. He actually never eats airplane food, even if he's on first class, apparently. So he would just load him up with snacks, and then he would not eat any airplane food. So the correct answer is actually A. So I think this might be a bit of a flawed question, but he actually not just has a red belt, he has a black belt in karate. He's like up there. And obviously, that he runs all the marathons, the ultra marathons, the Ironmans, etc. But I think the reason why I say I really like him as a celebrity is because, yes, I know that some people say that, he's like, oh, very like has a character, etc. But I think he not only has a skill, I think he earns his stripes and skills to have the character. It's like this guy knows what he's doing, gone through all the hardships. He knows business well. He doesn't just know how to cook, so he really knows his business inside and out. And he's just himself, right? So he doesn't really give a toss about what other people think of him. He just goes, this is my way of doing it, and I know that this is the right thing. I just insist. And sometimes I think as an entrepreneur, you have to have that determination. But not saying that we need to go and start pissing off other people. But he earned his way through that because now he's a master chef. He's got the skills. He's demonstrated that I can do it for other people. So even if he asks you to F off, you're like, okay, you're Gordon Ramsay, so I better listen to you. So I think that's like such a great space to be in. So that's what I like about him. So let's move on. This is your question. I don't even recognize the name, but I'll let you carry on.
Okay. How old is Mate Rimac, the brilliant founder of Rimac and creator of Rimac Nevera, the fastest production car? A, 25. B, 33. C, 42. D, 51.
So this is the age of the founder, right?
Yes. the engineer who created the fastest car, the fastest production car, in terms of acceleration, 0 to 60. I
Mhm.
believe it's under 2 seconds.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah, so that's wild. And think about it, that this guy is beating the likes of Lamborghini, Ferrari, Koenigsegg, Bugatti, like all those brands that have like at least 2 decades of history.
Hmm. How old is the? How old is he? I don't know. I would say 42. C.
Actually, he's 33.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So the other automotive founder that I can compare him to is Christian Koenigsegg, who is the founder of the brand Koenigsegg. Both brands are very like low key. They only produce like I believe you don't even count their cars in hundreds. You probably count them in dozens. So
Something like that.
very low production. But the thing is that very I just wanted to say that very often we think that with our, let's say, experience or the lack of experience, we cannot compete with the giants of the industry, right?
Mhm.
But actually, mate Rimac, he probably finished his school, his university when he was like 24, 25, and 8 years later, he's he produced, he created, of course, with a team, but he created a car that is smoking Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Bugattis. So that's just amazing.
Mm. Wow, 33. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. No comparison.
Let's go to the next question.
Just keep going. Okay, next one. So we're talking to Fortune. Obviously, Fortune is a publishing firm. Warren Buffett says 1/4 of his body is made up of what? A. French fries. B. Coca-Cola. C. Burgers. D. Ice cream.
Uh, You know what? I have heard something about Warren Buffett eating almost every day the same meal set from McDonald's or something like that. Or
Hmm.
very often he orders more or less the same, and it costs him like few dollars, even though he can afford probably eating in every restaurant of the world. So I would go for burgers. For some reason, I would go for burgers.
Burgers.
Uh-huh.
So the correct answer is D. Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. Okay.
And the reason I put this in there is just that obviously one is a bit of a fun question. B is that when I was doing some research, sometimes he eats some ice cream for breakfast, and he drinks apparently 5 cups or 5 cans of Coca-Cola every single day. And when I was reading it, so he would say this, right? He would say, if I eat 2,700 calories a day, 1/4 of that is Coca-Cola. I drink at least 5 12-ounce servings every day. And then the reason why is because he said, I checked the actual tables and the lowest death rate is among 6-year-olds. So I decided to eat like a 6-year-old, and 6-year-old drink lots of Cokes and eat lots of shit food. Okay, we're not endorsing that you start drinking Coca-Cola every single day.
At least if you want to start drinking Coca-Cola every single day, pick this is Coca-Cola Zero or something like that.
Diet Coke. Yeah. But I just find that very interesting. It's like you would have thought someone is that was his logic for picking what to eat every day. So well, can't complain. So
But you know, he's like very old generation entrepreneur. So I think
he
that's
is.
why, because probably it would be hard to found an entrepreneur, like very successful entrepreneur, under 50 or 40, who would go on like him. You know,
Yeah, definitely
let's
not.
look at freaks like Jack Dorsey, for example, who is like, meditating a lot, who is
Mm.
fasting most of the time. He's eating only one meal per day, and he fasts all weekends. So most of the entrepreneurs are now fitness
More modern.
freaks. So they are built different.
Cool.
Yeah.
Next
Okay.
question is from you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. What did JayZ do before starting his rap career? Of course, JayZ is not an active rapper anymore. Like, he records some tracks from time to time, but he's not, you know, um, recording albums anymore, because now he's more of an entrepreneur than a rapper. So what did he do before he started his rap career that brought him to this riches that he has today? So A, stealing cars. B, burglary. C, working in fried chicken joint. D, selling crack cocaine.
When I was writing this slide out, I was like, oh my God, I'm not quite sure if it's A, B, or D. How would we project the image? So I will go with a more conservative answer. I'll say he works in a fried chicken joint.
Actually, he was selling crack cocaine,
Really?
and he used to do it from pretty young age, if I'm not mistaken, like being 10 or 11 or something like that. I think that there is even like a story that when he was 13 or 14, he shot his brother or a cousin or someone like that from his family. Like, not, he didn't shoot him dead, but he shot him because this relative of him stole his chain.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that's bonkers, but actually it shows that even if you were brought up in let's say very bad environment, you can turn your life upside down, become successful rapper, then become successful entrepreneur, and be a friend with the ex-president of the United States, right? So
Mm. Wow, this is mental. All
yeah.
right, next question. So this lady is Ariana Huffington, obviously creator of the Huffington Post.
Okay.
So how many times did her second book get rejected before it actually got published or accepted by a publisher? Is it A 25, B 37, C 49, D 61?
Okay, I'm going for the biggest number, so 69.
61.
Yeah, 61.
Actually, not that many. She got rejected 37 times
Okay.
when she was writing her book on political leadership. But here's the thing, again, I find very interesting was that by the 25th rejection, which was answer A, she had to run out of all her money. But then she got a loan to carry on wanting to publish this book. And then on the attempt 38, so after 37 rejections, finally got published. And I think she is one of the she writes lots of books nowadays. Also, one of them is about sleep. So she realized, so she dedicated. So when she got interviewed, people asked her, what was your secret recipe for success? She said, sleep. She just said, sleep, 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 sleep. That was the most important thing that she just came up. But again, we've had 3 questions already about how many people have failed and then continue persist. So we hope that is demonstrated to people and show that we're all gonna have to go through failures. In fact, it's one of the processes we're gonna have to go through, not once, not twice, probably many times. But if you do push it through, keep involving yourself, etc., you're gonna get there. So, moral of the story is still there.
Okay.
Cool. Next one from you.
How old was Carlos Slim Hellu when he made his first stock purchase? A. 9 years old. B. 12 years old. C. 18 years old. D. 21 years old. I just want to make a small, small note. Carlos Slim Hellu is one of the richest people in the world. I believe he's still in top 10, and he's from Mexico. So he's like a big, like the richest man in Mexico.
Luckily, I explained. I was going to ask if you could give us an intro of who he is. In regards to the question, I don't know the answer, but I'm going to guess 12 years old.
That's correct. He made his first stock purchase when he was 12 years old. If I'm not mistaken, 1 year earlier, so when he was 11, he made his first investment, and his first investment was in government government savings or something like that.
Oh wow, 11. Yeah. Well, explains why he's successful now, the richest person. You start young and early.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. All right, we're coming to the second last question. So, you probably haven't heard of this lady, but this entrepreneur is called Jamiekern Lima. So, from A to D, there's a series of her achievements, but which one of these is inaccurate? So, A, she built It Cosmetics, which got sold to L'Oreal for 1.2 billion in cash. B, she became the third female CEO in L'Oreal's 100-year company history. C, a male investor once told her that no one will buy cosmetics from her with her body and weight. D, she started off as a restaurant waitress.
I will go for A, because like this amount seems too big in cash. Very often, when big companies buy for such a a big amount of money, they also put some stocks in there, not cash. So yeah, that's my answer A.
So the correct answer is actually B. So she did sell that company to L'Oreal for 1.2 billion. I don't know whether cash is actual cash or is it like a, there you go, that's the money to you. But in terms of B, she was actually the first female CEO in L'Oreal's 100-year company history, which was quite surprising to me, thinking that L'Oreal is quite, not being, female-oriented brand, that you have never had a female CEO in the company's 100-year history, and she was the first one. So, and also, obviously, what people said, when she was pitching a product, people say you are, you look a bit fat. No one's going to buy it from you. I remember she said this story in one of the interviews. She was like, when they got to the final stage, and then this investor finally told her that we're not interested anymore, she was like, can you just tell me why? And the investor said, do you really want to know why? And then she was like, yeah, tell me why. The investor said, because no one's going to buy cosmetics from you because of your body and weight. And obviously she broke down because of that. Very horrible thing to say, but that didn't stop her. And now she is results. And apparently the best thing is this male investor who didn't invest in her now ended up working for her. You're like, yay, hallelujah. Yeah. Final question from you.
All right. What did Jack Ma used to do for a living? So Jack Ma is the founder of Alibaba Group, if I'm not mistaken. So AliExpress, Alipay, Ali everything.
Yeah, Ali everything.
Yeah. So what did he do before he became an entrepreneur? So A, corporate job at strategy consulting. B, English teacher. C, street vendor. D, cleaner.
I don't think he was an English teacher. I think he started learning English when he became president. He knows to go international and he learned English and all that stuff. So I guess I would not pick B. Think about how Alibaba is as like a web sort of vendor. I would guess it's C.
Actually, it's B. He used to be
He
an
is. Oh,
educator. Yeah.
right. Okay. No wonder his English is so good then.
Yeah. Exactly.
Cool. All right. That
That was the
concludes.
last question for today. Um,
How do you find it?
any final thoughts on the whole game?
I find it quite interesting. You know, I think first thing is that intellectually, I think I learned something as well. But I think because of the questions we pick too, there's a story that we can extend into, and then we talk about numbers of failure doesn't really matter, but it's when you put into context of what we are going through building our own business, and you see that people failed 1,000 times, 5,000 times, got rejected 28 times to get a loan. It's like, well, like, okay, why am I complaining? Why am I whining? So for me, that was the biggest takeaway. How about you?
Yeah, definitely that being persistent in life is one in entrepreneurial career actually is one of the most important things that you need to do, just to keep on pushing, believe in your product, believe in yourself, believe in your services, whatever you're selling, but be persistent, keep on pushing. I guess that's the final thought that I would like to share with you for tonight.
Wonderful. So, guess we'll end it there then.
Okay.
All right.
So see you next week. What do we have planned for next week? Um, personal
Well,
personal strategies, something like that.
I can't remember exactly. I had to check.
Okay.
But yeah.
We will announce it before it happens.
Yeah, we will. And we need to put this at the end.
Exactly.
Instagram. This is where we announce it every time before a show.
Subscribe the channel, give a thumbs up, comment, because it works for our algorithms. So we will be really grateful if you can help us boost our efforts.
Cool. We'll leave it there then.
Yes.
See you all same time next week, and good night.